With 2020 coming to a close, so many of us are left feeling uncertain and wildly unprepared for the future. Most people would say there are only a few times in their entire life when something completely flips the script and changes the way that we live. And this year has definitely been one of those times.
Now, I've never really been a huge fan of New Year's resolutions. I think that waiting until the end of an era to implement changes is outright lazy thinking. And it gives a lot of people an excuse to continue their bad habits until that day finally comes, or it sets an unrealistic expectation that things will magically just improve because a new dawn is approaching. Newsflash, the sun rises and sets every day. Regardless, what I really do love is the idea of reinvention. Taking a moment to reflect on past failure and success without judgment. Recognizing that these experiences lead us to where we are today, so we can figure out how to grow. It's finding those sparks of clarity in the haze that turn our passions into our purpose.
We've learned so much during these COVID times, from work to business and our social lives. So we want to share 3 of our favorite ideas we've learned this year.
Stop waiting for permission. I've already alluded to this idea of mental masturbation earlier. Long before the pandemic, Mike and I had teased the idea of restarting our YouTube channel. And I remember crafting these lame excuses of being too busy with medical school or us being on opposite coasts making it impossible. And we kept fantasizing that one day the stars would align perfectly and we could start.
When lockdown happened and we were quarantined together, it gave us a push to finally take action. And now, reflecting on it a year later, my regret is that we didn't start sooner.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, so nothing really changed in our lives at that moment compared with before. I was still in residency, Matty was still in medical school. We weren't any more or less swamped with additional responsibilities than we are now, but the point being, stop waiting around for the perfect opportunity to start a new project or hobby or relationship. Even if things don't pan out, at least you know that you gave it a go and you left no stone unturned.
One of my favorite quotes here: of all the words of mice and men, the saddest star it might have been. We had no idea how much starting a YouTube channel or pursuing entrepreneurial ventures would change our lives. And now, I can't really imagine it any other way. Taking action, meeting other creators, helping students across the globe, unraveling our creative mindset literally led us to where we are right now. Sitting in a brand new studio where we can continue doing what we love. Obviously, we got a long way to go, but baby steps. Next was learning to enjoy alone time. This past year, we've been forced more than ever to isolate and find solitude. I wasn't able to meet up with my friends after a busy day, or even go meet someone new because everything was closed. Instead, I went home, where I live alone. At first, I felt like I was going insane. I found myself consuming more social media than I ever had in my life, trying to stay connected with the world and with other people. But all that ended up doing was causing more unhappiness about being stuck inside and comparing my life to other people. I realized that the reason I was scrolling was for a distraction from my mind. It didn't sit well with me that I couldn't feel satisfied with my emotions. Sometimes you just have to look your fears dead in the eye and figure them out. So I parted with my personal social media accounts, television, movies, basically eliminated any possible mental distractors from my life. And it was during these past few months where I met the coolest and the most fun dude I ever would. Myself. What I mean was, I was no longer looking for someone or something else to stimulate me. I removed the need to compare myself to anybody or fantasize about what having a different life could be like. And ultimately, I started taking responsibility for my own happiness. I was diving deeper into my interests in neuroscience, making more music, and really focusing on improving myself. To become a better version of myself, so that when things do normalize, I would have more to give to those people around me.
And the number 3 lesson for me is to show your work. This could mean sharing your work as a polished, finished project, or it could mean showing your work in progress, complete with the nitty-gritty and the imperfections. Showing your work on the internet, either by posting your projects or even just sharing your thoughts, can act like a resume and open a lot of doors for you. So for example, we wanted to learn how to study more effectively. So as we started researching this area, we made YouTube videos, blog posts, and articles on the topics that we were learning. You can think of our YouTube videos as our proof of work as we learn and do research towards building a bigger project like our online study course, which you can happen to find for free in the description below. The other thing I love about showing my work is that it helps attract like-minded people. This could be other creators or people who want to check out your products, or companies looking to hire or offer sponsorships, or just making new friends. It's ironic that in this year of lockdown, I ended up making more friends than ever before. We discovered each other through our work, and it's easier knowing that you're connecting with an actual person on the other side, rather than a faceless brand or company. And I think as we move more towards working remotely, we just naturally gravitate towards these more human relationships. All right, so any last thoughts on 2020?
I'm pretty ready for this year to be over. Looking forward to a fresh start, as I know a lot of people are. And we're really excited because we have a lot of really cool projects doing in the works, cooking in the crock pot. So cheers to 2021, and we'll see you guys soon.